Top 5 Horror Short Films That Will Keep You Up at Night. Part 2. At number 5. The Jester. An exhausted young man, coming home from a late-night shift on Halloween, stumbles upon a mysterious individual dressed as a jester who wants to perform magic tricks for him. He shows to be quite insistent, so the young man decides to humor him and just goes with it. Unfortunately, the tricks get creepier as they go, and when he tries to get away, the young man begins a horrifying game of cat and mouse as he realizes that the jester is not what he appears to be. The jester is a blast. The jester feels like an unstoppable and mystical force of nature, whose unpredictable behavior will put you on the edge of your seat as you nervously wait for his next move.
Okay, come on.
At number 4. Larry. This brilliant film, courtesy of director Jacob Chase, tells the story of Joe, a nighttime car park attendant who is completely bored at his job. Alone in his booth in the middle of the night, Joe finds an old iPad in the lost and found box below his desk, and decides to take a peek. There, he comes across the sinister story of Larry, a depressed monster that lives behind a window and is looking for his one true friend. As Joe read through the story, something begins to lurk outside the booth, in the parking lot. It looks like Larry is coming to visit his friend. What makes Larry so incredibly effective is how claustrophobic it feels. The whole short takes place within the confines of Joe's tiny booth, which also acts as the only source of light in the scene. Once the light starts flickering, all bets are off. This one is definitely a must. At number 3. The Smiling Man. This award-winning Smiling Man was directed by A.J. Briones and is about an unnamed little girl who is home alone and suddenly stumbles across a bunch of balloons meticulously displayed around the house. As she follows the balloons and makes her way downstairs, the little girl finds herself face to face with a terrifying being only known as the Smiling Man. There are no words to describe the anxiety-inducing nightmare the creature in this film is. It is without a doubt one of the scariest horror beings of recent memory, one that could become a new icon of horror cinema if this film is ever given the feature treatment. The Smiling Man definitely leaves an impression, and it will stay with you long after you see it. At number 2. Behind. This incredibly clever and creepy Japanese short film was directed by Rick Kawanaka, and follows the night of a young woman working on her computer at home, who grows a bit startled when the door behind her keeps opening by itself. After having to frustratingly get up to close it a few times, she becomes nervous and decides to turn on her webcam to see what exactly is happening behind her. In classic Japanese horror fashion, this film is a masterclass of rising tension, and every second feels slightly more uncomfortable than the one that came before. It uses a simple concept and exploits all of its potential in mere minutes. Given its incredible success in Japan back in 2015, Behind became the first in a series known as Alone in the House, that regroups a catalog of short films just as creepy as this one. At number 1. Lights Out. Lights Out follows the petrifying experience of a woman who is about to go to bed, but is stopped dead in her tracks when a silhouette appears in the hallway as she turns off the lights. Alarmed, she flicks the light switch on and off to see who it is, and she comes to the frightening realization that this silhouette only appears in the dark, and moves only when she can't see it. This is the short film that broke the internet, back in 2013. Lights Out is widely considered to be the ultimate horror short, with its brilliant concept still capturing and spooking audiences to this day. If you haven't seen it yet, do not miss out on it.